Hi, it's Rowan from PhysioFit. Thanks for joining me today. This is our third video in the series for beginners, teaching you some of the basic technique that you might come across in a Pilates class. Today I'm going to go through an exercise called clam. It's an exercise in side lying, so I'll teach you some of the key points you'll need to set up for any side lying exercise. So come and join me on the mat and we'll get started. Okay, so come on down onto your side. Going to slide one arm long and away from you along the floor. Turn your palm up in this position and tuck your shoulder blade underneath you. Bring a head cushion or a folded towel in between your arm and the side of your head just to support your neck. You might want to fold it over and make it a bit thicker, and that's absolutely fine if you do. Just making sure that your neck feels nice and comfortable and can relax in that position. Now, bring your attention to the position of your legs. I want you to make sure that your heels feel like they're roughly in line with the back of your pelvis. Your shoulders should feel nice and straight and in line with the back of your pelvis and your upper arm as well. So you could kind of imagine an invisible wall behind you, and your feet, the back of your pelvis, your upper back and your fingertip would be sitting up against that wall, everything in a nice straight line. Now, if I've got my shoulder in the right position with my shoulder blade underneath, it should feel like it's easy to kind of gather my rib cage up and off the floor here and support it almost between the shoulder blade and the side of my pelvis. So there's a little space underneath my waist, and it feels like the tube of my body is nice and elongated. So I'm also thinking about the crown of the skull pointing away from me and the back of the pelvis pointing to the wall the other side. So everything feels like it's sort of lengthened in the middle. And I don't want to feel that the kind of tube of my body is sort of sagging down to the floor. So really keep that rib cage lifted up and your waist in line. Okay, once you're in that position, notice where your lower back is in space. You want to just make sure that it's not in an arched position or a flattened position. Your sit bones want to be pointing directly down towards your heels, so you're still finding that neutral spine position in side lying. Once you're there, place your fingertips on the floor just for a little bit of balance. Eyes to the front and don't look down again. Okay, so you want to keep that length through the crown of the skull. Now press your bottom leg into the floor. So the side of your leg is pushing down. And if you push into the floor, your top leg can rotate and turn in the socket so your kneecap is kind of pointing more up towards the ceiling. And lower that leg back down again. Now, notice your pelvis here. Both of your 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock need to be pointing forward, and they need to stay facing forward as your top leg moves. So this is another exercise in being able to stabilize the pelvis and lower back whilst moving your hip. So press the bottom leg down, let your top leg rotate, and then roll back into place. Really look for that sort of subtle spiral of the thigh bone as it turns, the connection of the back of the hips. You can feel your outer hip muscle working. Press down with the bottom leg to send the top leg up, and then release again. And again, send the bottom leg down into the floor to let the top leg rise, and release. Going to add the breathing in, so I'm going to breathe out on the rise, and breathe in to come back, and breathe out on the rise, and in to come back. Okay, and hold it there. So we're going to add a little bit of variation now to give you some other things to try and practice. I want you to press the bottom leg into the floor and really feel almost like a stripe down the side of the thigh and the side of the shin, and you press that stripe into the floor to let the top leg rise up. And come on back down again. Now you've got a little bit more weight to control here. So you don't want to let your waist drop down to the floor. You can place a fingertip under your waist if you like, just to monitor that it's only the hip opening and moving, that there's no change in position of your pelvis or lower back. We're going to do 2 more, pressing down with the bottom leg to send the top leg up. And one last time. Good. Now come back halfway and pause there. See if you can bring the heels together and then bring your knees together. Lovely. So now we're just turning that thigh bone in space and rotating back again, really feeling the deep rotating muscles in your hips working hard. You can monitor with your fingertip if you want to at 9 o'clock to make sure the pelvis isn't moving around as you move your leg. Going to do 2 more. Starting to feel the work kick in now. And last time. Good job. Okay, bring your leg back down and let your hip relax there. Don't forget to do the other side as well, so that you haven't got one sort of fantastic buttock and the other not so great. Okay, so those are the techniques that you'll need in any side lying exercise. I hope that you found this video helpful, and join me again on the mat.